YouTube, what's going on? This is Sean Allen Cuts hitting you with another video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell right now. What you waiting for? Do it right now. I'll wait. What I'm doing is I am starting this haircut. This is a fade. But the reason why I did this haircut is because even though it seemed like it's a simple haircut, it's actually can be difficult because his hair is spotty and spacey in different areas, and you can't just do your regular 3-step system with this type of haircut. You have to really fine tune it and really figure out the haircut before you can make it look really nice. Now what I'm doing is hitting him with the number 1 guard with the grain. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because his hair is spotty and I needed to see what I'm working with so I can cut his hair properly. Now as you can see, I'm stepping back so I can pretty much see what I have to work with. Now what I'm doing after I cut with the grain, I'm hitting it with the number 1 against the grain, about 1 inch, because I like to give myself a good amount of room to blend. Now hitting him with my gold with no guard. So now I'm working on that first demarcation line, making it disappear. And as you can see, if you look up close, my lever, first I started off with the lever open. I start off with the lever open. Then depending on the location, I scoop my lever up. So I learned just to work and be flexible with my clippers. As you can see, I'm working on all the dark spots, but I'm not cutting too high. It's like I flick a little bit, look back at it, flick some more, look back at it, just so I can make sure that blend is right. Now, as you can see, I'm scooting that lever up so I can take off that dark spot right there, you see it, and then right there. Now what I'm doing is working on taking that first demarcation line out. And I always say, it's always in the details. So as you can see, it's starting to slowly disappear. But as you also see, you see me pointing to that spot, that dark spot right there. Because he actually got little digs in his head. So when you have that, you have to make sure that you cut those spots differently. If you would like me to do a video on that or on the details of fading people's hair that have different levels, I wouldn't say holes or something like that, no disrespect, but it's just different. Just leave it in the comment section. Now, as you can see, I'm working on the opposite side, doing the same technique. Now, if I'm going too fast, that's a wonderful thing about a video. Pause it, rewind it, play it again. See, what I'm doing is I always step back, I look at it, I see what's going on, and then I go back to work. Now what I'm doing is hitting him with a 1.5 guard on the second demarcation line. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting it with an angle. I'm not going straight up, because once again, he has spotty hair, and if you go straight up, sometimes you'll have bald spots and don't understand why. So what I'm doing is I'm introducing these clippers to the second demarcation line. I understand that I'm not taking that demarcation line fully out yet. I don't have to do all of that at one time. With cutting hair, you have to be patient. You can't just do all the cuts and everything at one time. When you do stuff like that, it'll never work out, and it's not gonna look how you want it to look. And once again, every time I go up, I step back and look at it, because different people have different hair textures. So you have to just really figure out their hair pattern in order to cut their hair the way it needs to be cut. Believe it or not, you might have a fade, but you have so many different ways you have to cut that same type of fade on different people's hair. All right, moving on. Now I'm going back to that number 1, start working on loosening up that second demarcation line. Now I got my masters, and my masters without a guard is equivalent to a number 1. So I'm going right under the number 1 I had, the guard version, and I'm going under it with the no guard version number 1, which is a little lower than a regular number 1. Hope that makes sense to you. So all I'm doing is loosening it up. I'm not cutting all the areas. I'm just patiently flicking out that second demarcation line. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing the same technique on the other side. However, sometimes even the same client have different hair textures on each side of the head. So you have to figure it out and adjust. That's one thing about a barber. You always gotta adjust. You gotta have all different type of skills to be able to do the job. So that's what I'm using. I'm using my masters with no guard, which is a number 1. And I'm working on taking the demarcation line out. Now I'm working on the front. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that number 1 and going with the grain on that part. Basically laying the hair down. I'm getting myself prepared for the lineup. You can't just line people's hair up and thinking it's gonna look good. You have to do certain things. Once again, if you want me to do a video on strictly lineups, leave it in the comment section. Let me know. See, what I did was I stepped back so I can look at it. Reason why I step back is so I can look at it at an angle of what people look at it as. You know, when you have a regular person on the street and they just looking at your hair from a distance, they can see everything. So that's why I step back, so I can see it and make sure that I did it right, do it how I like to do it. Now is line up time. That's my favorite part. Because all the hard work that you put in shows up when you line their hair up. Now what I'm doing is I'm lining his hair up to get an idea of how I want it to be, but this is not the end. I started off with these clippers. I might use 2 more clippers just so I can get that line up the way I like it, make it pop. See, you see me switch to my Black Andes so I can give it a little zest. That's what I say. And as you notice how I cut, I clean up along the way little things that I see all the way through the haircut. It's called multitasking. Now it's time for the C effect. Now what you want to do here is you got to make sure that you do that right. You don't want to have it looking like a hook, like you're going fishing or something like that. I don't know. All right, it's now time for color enhancement. Now there's a lot of people that have so many things to say about color enhancement. I'm like, whatever with it. If it helps the client, because you got to understand certain people hair texture is naturally spotty. So you got to help them out. And the client like that look. It gives them a celebrity type of haircut. They love it. You have to give the client what they want, not what you want. Now, once again, you see me using my T outliners. That's the 3rd clipper on that lineup. All depends. Like I said, every haircut is different. You have to know how to be versatile off of every haircut. You might can use 1-liners, or you might have to use 2 or 3. Sometimes I even use 4. But each one of my liners are different. They set up different. I hit them with that oil sheen. Make sure that lineup is right. That fade is tight. I appreciate every single person that watched this video. Hit that subscribe button right now and the notification bell. Once again, it's Sean Allen Cuts. I'm out. Peace.